Today we have the 2021 Ford F-150 Platinum with the 5-liter V8, and I've been able to spend time in 4 different F-150s, ranging from the Power Boost to the 5-liter V8 and different trim levels, and I've got a lot of time behind the wheel, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I think about it. We're going to take a full look at the exterior, the interior, take it for a test drive, and I've got a lot of things to share after spending several thousand miles with the all-new F-150. Exterior details. So first of all, this still has a fully boxed frame. It's still very similar in dimensions overall compared to the last generation, but you'll see some subtle changes in design, especially with this area right up front. So the grille is going to vary depending on the trim level, and so is this whole front fascia. You can get a chrome bumper or not. Lower trims are going to come with halogen lights, but we have the full LED headlights, and that daytime running light goes around the headlight all the way down into where that LED fog light is. You've got the tow hooks. You actually get an active air dam that comes down. As you can see, it looks like it's a little bit damaged right now. And then you've got parking sensors up here. You've got an LED blinker, so everything is full LED. And these headlights do an excellent job. I was able to drive a couple thousand miles with them almost entirely at night, and they are dynamic bending, so they adapt left to right, and they just do fantastic. This paint color is the carbonized gray. So it's nothing special, but it looks good on this F-150, especially with these chrome accents. And then it's paired with 20-inch wheels here. Wheels are going to range a lot depending on trim level, and you can get several different wheels on this trim level as well. But you've got some decent amount of tire on those 20-inch wheels, even though they're pretty large. There's an LED blinker in the mirror. You've also got lights that will project out of the mirror for some lighting at night. Then this mirror actually automatically dims, which was also very nice driving this at night. And you can see you've got more chrome accents here. And one thing a lot of you are probably going to like is we have the longer bed. So we've got the longer wheelbase here with this crew cab. You still get the same crew cab with the shorter box or with this box, just like last generation. And then coming out to the back, we're going to get LED taillights. These are full LED taillights, very bright. Got that that LED turn signal, the nice design, platinum across the back. Now with lower trims, you're just going to have F-150 stamped at the bottom, but these upper trims, you're going to get platinum written across there. Of course, Ford's going to give you a full-size spare tire underneath. Then we've got this chrome exhaust outlet. You'll also see you've got the receiver there, and we've got tow hooks, or not tow hooks, excuse me, parking sensors back here as well. So parking sensors in the front and the back. Now check this out. So first of all, we have the longer box. You can get the short bed or this medium bed. You cannot get the 8-foot box on the Super Crew, but we've still got a longer box here. There's a couple things to show you here. You have a backup camera right there. Then you have a light that will shine down at your hitch, and it's really impressive. I've got a night video showing off all of the exterior lights and the zone lighting, so be sure to check that out. But we can also open this up with the key fob. It's electric, it's locking, and it'll automatically open up just like that. You can also close it, but Ford really did a lot with this. So you've got built-in areas for clamps right here on both sides of the truck, so you could kind of use this like a sawhorse. You've got a tape measure in here that goes all the way across. So we've got all the way up to 4 feet right here, and you can fit 4 feet sheets in between the wheel wells. And Ford just did a lot with this tailgate. You've got a section here to set your phone or tablet, and like I said, you've got those clamps. You've also got tie downs on the tailgate, so tailgate specific tie downs, and this also works as a bottle opener from the underside as well. This does not have the bed liner, but you can get a bed liner optional. Getting into the bed of the truck is easy. This is just like older Fords, the Super Duties. You can pull that out. Then you've got a step to get in. The only thing is there's not an easy way to get in when the tailgate is closed, like there is with the steps on some competitors that come down, or the built-in bumper steps, but that's not a huge deal. So Ford gives us several tie downs. You've got those tie downs on each side that are adjustable, and then you've got fixed tie downs in each corner. You also have LED lighting, and I love how you can turn it on with a button, so you don't have to go inside to turn everything on. LED lighting up there, LED lighting over there. Lights this bed up really, really well. Over here you get another 400-watt 3-prong outlet. Now if you have the hybrid, you can get the Pro Power onboard, which gives you so many different plugins and so much power available. For specific payload numbers, I'll put a chart in the description below that has all of the different ones, because depending on bed length, engine, cab, there's so many different factors. I'll put that in the description below. But then when you're all done, check it out. It's remote operated to lift it up as well. And of course, the lower trims don't have this if you don't want to deal with that. To my surprise, Ford didn't give us a new key fob or anything. It's still this kind of big, bulky, thick key fob, but if you like it, then that's good. You can open up your tailgate, you can remote start on here, and you still get the smart key system as well. So to lock it, you just press that. You've got power folding mirrors. You also have the touchpad on the door, so you can have your own code to get in and out. You don't need your key. You can lock your key in the truck, or you've got the sensor in the back. And then we've got these power folding running boards, so those can automatically come out if you want them to. You can have them always out or just turn them off altogether. But once we're inside, Ford did a nice job with materials, and this isn't even the top limited trim. This is the Platinum, which is the second from the top. You still get really nice materials on the door, the trim piece, even this really soft armrest and some visible stitching on here. And I like this suede material on here as well. So Ford did a nice job with that. The seats are very similar in shape and design, and I like this two-tone material. So this is full leather. These headrests are also adjustable with their ratcheting style like they were. So if they're uncomfortable, you can tilt them forward or backwards, and you'll see that these little perforations up here, this has the B&O Unleashed sound system, which really does sound nice. It sounds pretty amazing in this truck. You've got your Platinum badge, the suede material in here, and then these are going to be heated and ventilated and have memory settings, and they're just nice and plush and soft. And I was able to spend hours and hours and hours in these seats on a long road trip, and I was comfortable the whole time. Then we've got 4-way lumbar support. You've got your regular tilt and recline and height adjustment, and then this middle button is for massaging function. So you can control it on the screen to where you can have the back, the butt, different areas actually kind of roll and do some massage for you. One other thing that's an option but we don't have on this model is the max recline function, where the entire seat back can recline, and then the butt even comes up a little bit to make it to where you could literally lay out and lounge out or go to sleep on it. For those with mobility issues, you've got a grab handle over there. You also have a grab handle over here, and then coupled with that step, it's actually pretty easy getting in. Also, to top it off, you've got power adjustable pedals. Ford had these before, but they bring them back so you can move those pedals in and out to make it easier for taller or shorter drivers. And because we have the memory settings, as soon as I turn it on, the seat and steering wheel will automatically move to your preferred position. So this is a power tilt and telescoping steering wheel. Now in the back seat, Ford still gives you the same nice soft materials up here, here, and a ton of storage down here, just like the other ones. Even a bottle holder right there, a grab handle for each side, and the running boards will still fold down for your backseat passengers, and then you've got tons and tons of legroom. And on the multiple 1,000-mile trip I made, I had my car seat with me, my daughter was with me. There's tons of space. My wife could scooch back and have plenty of room. I could have it sitting behind myself and have plenty of room as well. There's a center folding armrest with some cup holders in the middle, and then a flat load floor. In the middle, you've got the cup holders, you've got air conditioning vents, you've got 2-tier heated seats on the outside, a 3-prong outlet, USB ports down there, and a 3-prong outlet down there. You also have the option of folding this up. You have a 60-40 split, so split folding seats. Then you have under seat storage here. Otherwise, you have a completely flat load floor, which is fantastic for loading items and makes it really practical. Space-wise, it's excellent. I'm 5'9", so obviously I don't have any problems with that. And sitting behind myself, you just have tons and tons of leg room. The only thing they could probably do is make these seats have a reclining function like Ram, to where you can actually kind of scoot the bottom forward and recline a little bit. But otherwise, these are totally fine. Now I'm going to be a little more brief in here on this interior, but this interior is very, very similar. You'll see a similar layout compared to the older F-150s, but it's a little bit nicer overall and larger screens, as you can see. You've got some semi-soft material up here, but you still have kind of a plasticky feel in here as opposed to, for say, top trim levels of the Ram, but it still seems well put together, and I really don't have any complaints with that. Steering wheel has a new button layout. Easy to use, easy to operate, steering wheel controls, radar cruise control, and even this large screen up overhead. The nice thing is, depending on the trim level, Ford will give you a smaller screen, a medium screen, or this large screen, and it's got a ton of information that you can see. So you can customize your own view where you can see anything from trip computer information to driver or truck specific information. So let's check this out. Truck info, towing info. You can see your tire pressure, which wheels are getting power, all the good stuff. Pretty much anything you want to see on here, this full digital display. And then coming over here, Ford gave us a massive 12-inch screen over here. This has a lot going for it and a lot on it. You also have wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So I have my phone charging on the wireless charger down there, and I don't have it plugged in, but it shows up on here. It doesn't take up the whole screen, but it gives you some secondary information over here that you can scroll through other pieces of information and just kind of see how that's working over there. There's really a lot that you can customize on here as well, from truck specific things to driver assist feature stuff. You have Wi-Fi on here. The zone lighting is really awesome. I've got a night video showing the zone lighting off, but you can have lights all around the vehicle. So if you're loading at night or doing things at night, you can have specific areas of light if you want, and it really works well. There's so much more to see on here. I have actually used the navigation system. I don't usually use those much on these vehicles because they just aren't as good as the phone, but this one actually seems to work pretty well. And on the navigation screen, you can actually make it the entire screen. But I like that screen overall. Check it out. We also have a camera button here. So we've got this 360-degree camera. You can also see in the bed of the truck. So you can see what's going on back there. You cannot see that when you're driving over a certain speed. You have to pretty much be stopped, which kind of stinks. But then you can zoom in on different areas. If you're pulling up next to something, you can zoom in, see how close you are. So that is really nice. This also has its parking feature to where when you're in gear, you can activate active park assist where it will parallel or perpendicular park for you. This truck literally will do everything for you. You also have the same storage area up above, which has a rubber liner so stuff won't slide around. We've got the Pro Trailer Backup Assist. We literally just turn this dial, tell the truck where you want to go, and it will do the backing up for you when you have a boat. Trailer brake controller down here, easy to use. Then your four-wheel drive control and drive modes. Now this also has a four-wheel drive automatic, the 4A, where it will automatically go between four-wheel high or two high, depending on situation. So it's almost like an all-wheel drive mode when you have off and on slippery situations. Otherwise, most of the time you'll probably want to keep it in two high. When we actually go through the drive modes, they're pretty slow, but they're kind of animated. You've got regular drive modes like off-road modes there. And if we start going the other way, we're going to get into towing, hauling, eco mode, and then sport mode. Dual zone climate control down here. You do have a few physical buttons for your radio, but not as much as I would preferably like. But dual zone climate control, all good size controls and knobs and dials down there. You have a 12-volt power outlet here, and then you've got a 3-prong 400-watt outlet right there. A button to open up the secondary glove box and a lockable bottom glove box. Like I said, wireless charging pad down there. Then you've got two types of USB charging ports, and you can cover that up. You've got a little storage area next to each part of the center console on driver and passenger side. And this is the squirrely shifter. So this is the one that will go down, and it starts to sound pretty rickety. Ford does this because in the trucks you can get it as an option to where you can have this top section fold down and make it completely flat. This one doesn't actually do that. It goes up just like normal, and it's just like other F-150s. We've got this sliding box in here, and you've got a couple of charging ports down there. It's just a massive storage area. So I don't see the need for this. If we're gonna have a movable shifter to make this flat, I feel like it should just be a column shifter. This legitimately kind of freaks me out. But it's nice to at least have a flat work surface if you have the fold down area. You still have this nice slot right here for a little storage, and then good size cup holders and bottle holders. No problems with those. Overhead, Ford still gives you a sunglass holder. We've got all LED interior lighting here as well. Very bright. You've got a little bit of ambient lighting that comes down. We have garage controls on the visor. The visor is still the big, large visor that will slide out, give you good coverage. This is an automatic dimming rearview mirror. It And I love that it's not a frameless mirror, because that means the entire mirror is actually automatic dimming. But there's one more little surprise. We've got the twin panel moonroof. So there's just one big giant thing that opens up right here. The glass right here opens up, and then you've got fixed glass back there. Now under the hood for 2021 with the F-150, this is where things have gotten a little bit more exciting. Ford gives you 6, maybe 7 different powertrain options if you include the electric Lightning. I've been able to show you the Power Boost hybrid. I've got a long detailed video of that Power Boost in 2 different trucks, plus the 5-liter, which we have right here. This 5-liter V8 now comes with cylinder deactivation, which I wish it didn't, but it does, and it gives you 400 horsepower and 410 pound-feet of torque, which is a little more than it was last year. All of these F-150 powertrains now come with their 10-speed automatic transmission, and I'll talk about how it drives in the test drive in just a little bit. If you're looking for efficiency, this 5-liter V8 is not the one for you, but if you want the traditional V8, like I probably would, this is definitely the one to go for, and it sounds fantastic. This is actually standard on this Platinum. The other engines are options. One nice thing about this compared to the Power Boost is the Power Boost cannot get the optional 36-gallon fuel tank. This one has the optional 36-gallon fuel tank, so you got a lot of range on here. And miles per gallon on this 5-liter 4x4 is 16 city, 22 highway, and 19 combined, whereas that Power Boost that I drove was rated at 24 miles per gallon combined. But this one is technically able to tow, or rated to tow, a little bit more than that Power Boost, even though that Power Boost has tons of torque. Now the towing ratings vary a lot depending on the engine, depending on the axle ratio, so many different variables, but I'll put a link in the description below so you can see that for yourself. All right, y'all, we are behind the wheel of this F-150 now. So I've driven the 5-liter V8, but I haven't spent nearly as much time in this V8 as I have in the Power Boost. And there are some differences that I want to talk about. So first impression of the F-150 is that it still feels very similar to what it did before, but one thing I noticed immediately is that it felt smoother on the road, especially when there's nothing in the bed of the truck, like no weight back there. It still has leaf springs back there. It still has a solid axle. It's not the coil like it is in Ram and now Toyota, but they improved it. And I won't say it's as comfortable as Ram's suspension is, but that's one reason Ford still gets so much capability out of this thing in terms of its payload and towing numbers, is you've still got those leaf springs back there. But with this 5-liter V8 normal mode, that hung on to those revs. That was 6-something thousand RPMs, but you still get this V8 sound out of here. So right now you can probably hear some wind noise. It is a really windy day. If you couldn't tell, I tried to cover that on the microphone as best as possible, but it's really windy, so I do hear some wind noise. But I've got to say, after driving several thousand miles in an F-150, it is a quiet vehicle. It is nap approved for my wife and my daughter. In fact, my daughter slept in the truck almost the whole time we were driving, because we drove overnight, and it was just quiet. Rough surface roads, wind noises, high speeds, things like that. It's just a quiet truck overall, and so are all of the full-size trucks for the most part. But one thing that didn't seem to change too much was the way that the steering felt. I think it's a little bit nicer, a little bit tighter, but it's still not quite as good as it could be for a full size, but it still handles much better than what you're probably used to in older full-size trucks. It's way better than older full-size trucks. The ride comfort is much better, the handling is much better. Now I gotta know, are you team leaf springs or coil springs? Like Ram with the coil, better ride comfort, a little bit less payload and towing. Ford with the leaf springs, worse ride comfort, better towing and payload. What would you rather have? Toyota now switched over to the coil springs as well. And all right, so one thing I've got to complain about, when you're on throttle, as Joe Rady would say. It's very smooth. I have no complaints with that. Downshifting is good. Getting into gear, the right gear to give you the right power is good. However, taking off from a stop, it skips from first to third gear, which isn't out of the ordinary, but it seems to always be a hard, rough, and abrupt shift into third gear, especially under light acceleration, just kind of in regular day-to-day driving. So I'm definitely bummed with the behavior of this 10-speed at times. And even with the hybrid, there was some inconsistency in the transmission too. This 10-speed is far from perfect, and that's probably my least favorite thing of the vehicle. Transmissions are basically supposed to be there to keep you going and be unnoticeable in these automatic transmissions, at least. And this is, it's a little bit annoying sometimes. It's not terrible. It wouldn't stop me from buying it, but it is noticeable, something I've got to say. Now I'm gonna actually put us in sport mode here. So let's turn it all the way to the left, and then it automatically puts you in four-wheel automatic, because then it's gonna, like I said, it's kind of like all-wheel drive. You'll have the best traction, changes the display in front here, and pedal down. Sounds good. It's quick to respond. It's holding the RPMs, partial throttle here. You've got that V8 sound. Now the one thing about the V8 is they changed, I'll put it back in normal mode. They added cylinder deactivation. I wish they didn't. Just to have one engine that doesn't have to try to be that efficient, and that can be maybe a little more reliable, more traditional. But I like driving this F-150 as a full-size truck. It's comfortable, it's quiet, it's very capable, it's powerful. The Power Boost Hybrid has tons of power, but it also weighs quite a bit more too with that battery pack. So you've got a lot of quick torque on that, and you can have some hybrid mode and EV modes at times and get better efficiency. But there's nothing like a V8 in a truck. But I'd love to know what you think of the powertrain and which powertrain you would get. Now I put blue tape. That's the only tape I had with me at the time. It's just painter's tape, and I'm covering up sensors that monitor your eyes for Ford's Blue Cruise hands-off driving, because this has radar cruise control, lane centering, and all of the driver assist features you can imagine, and it will monitor your eyes to make sure you're paying attention when there's the hands-off, partially autonomous driving. But I love the layout in here. It's very easy to use. I wish there was still a little more buttons over here, but it's, the touchscreen is easy to operate. This display is very nice for a digital display. It gives you tons of information, and lower trim Fords can give you a smaller display or a much smaller display for a more traditional look. And same thing with the screen. You can get a smaller screen, but you still have all the physical buttons, four-wheel drive controls, brake controller, backup right there. It's all easy to reach and access. Very comfortable in here. It's just, it's hard to complain about what you get in these trucks, except I always think they're so expensive. But let's go ahead and wrap things up on this test drive. Now to wrap things up on this 2021 Ford F-150, Ford has done so much to make this a truck for so many different people. They want this to be a work truck, they want it to be a luxury truck, a family truck, and it does all of those things depending on which trim levels you get. You can get the F-150 fairly bare bones, you can get it loaded up just like this Platinum, you can get it expensive, or you can get it not quite as expensive. But really, this answers the call to so many different things for so many different truck buyers. Power, efficiency, towing, payload, space, comfort, and features and technology. It's got pretty much everything. If you look at the competition, Ford is just right there up at the top with pretty much every category for this truck. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see a more detailed video, a 40-minute video on the Power Boost Hybrid, I've got one in the description below where I took it a couple thousand miles on a road trip, so be sure to check that out. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.